Former LFA middleweight champion Anthony Hernandez will welcome Edmen Shahbazyan, who was on the fringe of superstardom just so recently ago. Backed by Ronda Rousey, Edmen Shahbazyan was one of the fastest rising stars, or the quote golden boy, coming out of 2019. The double-digit undefeated UFC fighter was given Derek Brunson as an attempt to put him at the top of the division. Instead, Brunson dominated this fight, and Shahbazyan would suffer his second and third career losses just after. Golden Boy reminded us of that potential in his most recent fight at the end of 2022 with a performance of the night knockout victory of Dalcha Lungayambula. Anthony Hernandez, on the other hand, is on a little bit of the opposite run. Entering the UFC as the LFA middleweight champion, he was submitted in his debut by Marcus Perez, who is no longer even with the promotion. He'd split his next two, but then he'd have his breakout against the feared Jiu-Jitsu world champion Rodolfo Vieira. Hernandez would gas the muscly Jiu-Jitsu specialist and actually submit the guy with an arm and guillotine. Hernandez is now riding 3 straight victories into Fight Night Hill versus Dern. No matter what Shahbazyan's record says on his recent run, he is an explosive striker who always has the chance to finish a fight. He has 3 first-round finishes in his career in the UFC and has outstruck fighters like Brad Tavares. He remains one of the youngest middleweights in the UFC at 25 and already has 8 UFC bouts experience. His potential is endless, and we've seen some improvements in his weakness areas. His streak of losses follow the same kind of timeline. His taken down and the ground and pound is there. He did show wonderful submission defense against Imavov, but again, like Brunson, once Imavov got on top, he was able to land ground and pound, dominate the fight, and win via TKO. But to be honest, Shahbazyan does have great stand-up, and the potential here for him landing a TKO is there. However, Hernandez may prove to be a very, very bad matchup. Landing 8 takedowns in back-to-back fights and winning 100% of the fights he lands more than 5 takedowns. Stylistically, it's a dangerous matchup. It's also very, very impressive the way that Hernandez mixes up his grappling and his striking like Derek Brunson did a lot of in his fight against Shahbazyan. His win over Marc-Andre Barriault is a sensational performance that exudes all of these different highlights of Hernandez's game. His finish of Rodolfo Vieira shows that in the storm, he can relax and find a finish and outlast his opponent. He isn't impervious to being finished, however. Kevin Holland was able to get a TKO finish. However, the stand-up for Hernandez is exciting, explosive, and very, very good. I don't see Shahbazyan having that much of an advantage, even though I think that he will have an advantage on the feet. Not that much of one. The under is getting plus 120 odds, where when you get to the second round, slides all the way to minus 163. We'll do the same as our last video. For the winner, I believe the result screams Hernandez when it comes to matchup. More momentum, a style that perfectly highlights the weaknesses of his opponent. Hernandez, I think, here is the winner. Sellout answer, knowing that Hernandez is a big favorite. Over under here is actually 1.5 rounds, plus 120 versus minus 150 that it goes over. And that's a good set for the over under, in my opinion. It's a tougher decision than I may have thought. I like the finish, but I think the best route of victory for one of these guys is later on in the fight. So my lock for both fighters is a TKO victory, and my over-under is over 1.5 rounds, which I find more likely. I do think there is a lot of value in a couple spots here. Hernandez late finish, round 2, round 3 as a long shot win. TKO for Edmen Shahbazyan is going to pay out big, knowing that he's plus 200 just to win the fight. I see that as his method to victory here. I don't find a submission that likely. There's going to be good plus money on that, but I don't find it that likely. But keep an eye on the community tab for my plays going into the event. YouTube communities, you can find it on our channel page. But that'll wrap up today's video, guys. If you enjoyed, smash that like button, subscribe to Combat Sports Central, and I will see you in the next one.